Hello and welcome to the Bodysurf podcast with your budgie boys, Tim and Owie, hydrated by Hairy Man Brewery. And there's a few pop ales going around tonight. How's everyone doing? We've got a huge panel here on the show today. From Keel Down Under, Ooga's here, and also cute boy himself, Corey Sainsbury. How you doing, Corey?
Good, thanks. How are you?
Yeah, doing okay. Now, we've got you both here for a couple of huge announcements that we're going to spread out over the night. Oh, are you excited for these big announcements?
Oh, mate, I've been listening to the boys talk some absolute rubbish over the last couple of weeks, and I'm very, very excited to what they're going to say tonight. Now, Ooga, we took you out the other night for a punt and a palmy, and all you wanted to do is sit around a little campfire and touch each other. I don't know what you wanted to do.
I just wanted to listen to you play guitar.
Oh,
tonight,
no, thanks, bro. Thanks, man. You're speaking to the microphone as well. That might help. We are
Yep.
doing a podcast. And yeah, it wasn't good enough for you.
No, it wasn't really.
And-
Very disappointed by you too.
And I mean, Corey, we were there. We were having fun. That's what the boys
Enjoying
do.
a punt.
That's right. We were just having little $1, $2 wuss bets and enjoying the night, having a schooner after a long time in isolation. And I had a really good time.
And Uga was having none of it.
He was not having any of it, but we were talking about what we're going to do on this podcast. And I am very excited, Tim, as you have just stated. I'm looking forward to it. I hope you are too.
Oh, absolutely. But before we get into it, I guess we should maybe get the boys' opinions on a few things that have been happening over the last few weeks. Maybe some things that Owie and I have discussed. Maybe some things that have been going on in your lives. You guys did do this big strike mission recently where you went down south. I'm not allowed to say where it is. I've written down where it is, but I'm not allowed to actually say where it is.
Can't say it.
But you guys had a lovely weekend away with each other, getting on the punt, getting on the beers, having a palmy. But you did go for a surf. Now, conditions weren't flash. They weren't great. But were you able to get in the water and were you boys able to have a good time together?
Yeah, we were.
They're not. He's not asking me. He's already spoke to me about it, boys. Come on, don't be shy.
We were. We checked a few. We woke up early around 6:30. We woke up pretty much at a spot. Not going to say what it is, but it's a reef break. There was already maybe 5 surfers already on it, like 10 watching it. Thought stuff this. Went to some place starting with M.
Was it Mystics?
Oh,
See, this is the thing. See, we dump that. Can we dump? Do we have those capabilities here, Tim?
Yeah, fantastic.
That's all I can do.
Yeah, it was a mystical spot, is
Yeah.
what August's trying to say. He can't speak
Exactly.
English, guys.
We could have gone out there, but we knew it'd piss Uga off if we said, no, we're going searching for another half an hour,
Yeah.
hour extra. So Uga was off us again for that, as well as punting. And
Yeah,
as
well,
well
that's right.
as on the phone to our missus when it was only a 2-minute call.
Well, Hamish said last week that I don't actually go in the water unless there's an hour of searching involved. And that's 100% right. I like making sure we check every spot possible to get the best surf because I don't want to go in slop. If we go in slop, who enjoys that?
What's the
love it.
point of a strike mission?
You do.
Yeah,
Yeah.
what's the point of a strike mission if you're going to get there and take the easiest option?
That's right. So we did. We drove around for 2.5 hours.
Oh, longer than that.
Yeah, it was a long time.
We jumped in about midday. I reckon.
I had fun.
It was a good session.
Yeah, we
Now,
had fun.
You guys are throwing a little bit of shade about what happened when you were at the pub having a punt. I was told by a little birdie that Owie was the main culprit.
Yeah, I was completely out of it.
But Owie was the one who was on the phone the whole time, not socialising with the boys.
See, this is a stitch up because I wasn't. I was on the phone for about 5 minutes.
45 minutes, right?
Maximum 5 minutes. And Ooga's done the big stitch up, which I'll pay. That's fair enough.
Who was on the phone most of the trip?
I didn't take one call.
Yeah.
No, I think we were pretty good the next morning.
Yeah, you've just recently got a new... Is that... Are we allowed to talk about the new missos on the potty or is that Facebook official yet? It's
think-
not.
No, yeah, we can talk about it.
I think he's selling his story to Woman's Weekly.
Oh, yeah, that's right. So, yeah, I mean, you weren't on the phone at all. She must have felt real special.
Besides the text we got at 6 o'clock in the morning, I need to shit.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Which we did. I had a jalapeno burger.
Oh, jeez. That'll get you going. So, confirm or deny, good weekend away with the boys?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was good.
I had good fun.
Yeah.
And although we didn't get the best waves, at least we got out of Sydney. We got to surf we searched a couple of new spots, and we got to surf at one new spot. And I really enjoyed it. It was just
fun.
getting away.
It was fun, yeah.
Now, I've got some really big news to announce that you guys may not even be aware of.
You're pregnant.
Again, going to sell that to Women's Weekly. No, this is about Slide Fest. Some big news has come through about the postponed competition that's going to take place in the Gold Coast. So the Premier of Queensland has announced the borders will open, hopefully, around the 10th of July.
Right.
This means, hopefully, Slide Fest is going to run on the 1st of August, on the weekend of the 1st of August.
Big news.
So save the date. It's not 100% official yet. We've still got to wait and see what happens with the opening of the borders and if we're allowed to fly or drive over to Queensland. But it looks like Slide Fest is going to go ahead on the 1st of August. Now, we're lucky to be in the presence of someone who did very, very well.
That's right.
At Slide Fest last year. What can we expect?
No,
from
wait.
him?
He didn't just go very well. Are you the number one body surfer in New South Wales at the moment?
I don't know, guys. You tell me.
What were the placings?
It was, I
I think-
because Don McGreedy and then
Don.
Dylan Kelly. So that's all New South Wales, isn't it?
Oh, so it's all New South Wales. That's
So Queensland.
that's interesting.
Yeah.
The Queensland boys are no
even
good.
in the 2 foot Sydney waves, we'll call them 8 foot Goldie waves.
Yeah, that's right.
That's what they say.
Yeah.
The Sydney side has won.
Oh, there you go.
So what did you come last year, Uga?
I came third, yeah.
You came third.
Yeah.
Wow.
Not third, turd.
And are you going to compete again this year, or are you thinking about retiring on top?
No, we're going to go back, I think. But we don't know when it's going to be held. I had the tickets booked and everything for the last last body surfing comp, but who knows when it's going to be, really.
Mm.
And then we have, end of August, we have the one
Well,
camp.
here's the thing. That's what I wanted to bring up. Is it too close?
Maybe a bit too.
Well, again, this is the first we've heard about it. We're not sure how official this is going to be, and we still probably have to have a good look at the calendar to see how it's going to work. But, Womp Camp could potentially be moved. It's not a competition. It's more of a gathering, so we don't have to have a set date for that.
Well, we're not in charge. That's
No.
the thing, Timmy. So I think it's probably going to be pretty set. I think the end of August is going to be Womp Camp regardless.
But are you saying we can't have a competition early August and then
Oh,
a
we
camp?
could. I just think with a little notice, it could be a little bit tricky.
Yeah.
Because I think we all wanted to go. We all had our flights booked.
Well, it's 2 weekends off, you know.
The misso's not going to be happy about that, is she?
Well, I mean, it's not so much the misso, but it's the bank account, it's the time that you're going to take in leave. See, the problem is, Timmy, if you have 2 weekends off in August, it's coming really close. Like, a lot of people have to apply for their leave as well. Like,
It's true.
we might be seeing a downturn in participants for Slide Fest, and even a turnout at Womp Camp. That people might go either or. I'm thinking about going either. I'm not. I'm going to go to both.
Yes.
Obviously, I'm not an idiot.
It'll be interesting to see with flights as well. We have no idea what that's going to look like.
Well,
Prices and everything.
are there many flights even going at the moment? I think there's one flight a day to most major cities, and they cost $1,000 to get anywhere. So let's see what happens with tourism and all of that stuff over the next few weeks, and then work out what we're doing.
A Slide Fest booked flight.
Yeah. Get in contact with Virgin.
Oh, I'm sure Virgin will be able to help us out.
They go under.
They're going great guns.
They're more Tiger Air.
Yeah. Oh, I'll go Tiger Air.
This episode of the Bodysurf podcast is brought to you by Tiger Air, by the way. Book your flights now for Slide Fest. So I'm very excited because I was really looking forward to Slide Fest. I know a lot of the Budgie boys had already booked their flights, as Uga did as well. Uga was going to go there, maybe get another podium finish. Corey, I'm sure, was going to have a big crack as well. It's the only handboard comp in Australia. What boards were you going to ride? Obviously, Corey, you've got some sponsorship deals going on with War, so you'd be cranking out maybe the Bad Fish.
Yeah, probably the Bad Fish.
Yep. And Uga on the what did you ride?
Santa Barbara Stoke.
Yeah, is that what you rode last year?
Yep.
And it did the job.
It did the job. So the MC Fins and Santa Barbara Stoke. Yep.
Lovely.
That's if you have any left. I mean, you're keen on losing a couple.
Ooh, really?
Had a bit of a bad few weeks. Lost 2 in 3 weeks, I think. But yeah,
2 in 3 weeks.
Yeah.
You know, you can just put a little a leash on it.
Yeah, can't change the hands quick enough.
Yeah, that's true. And you know what I wanted to bring up, and this is a little off topic. Well, I suppose it is on topic. The new War hand planes leash is great. It looks awesome. It's very durable. But what I'm having trouble with is changing hands because it's when the leash is on, you kind of fasten it into position. On the old ones, it was a lot easier to kind of just set it. And then
forget it.
Set and forget. We'll slip off and slip on if you wanted to go left or right. With the new ones, I'm finding it a little bit harder. So if you're surfing a beach break,
it changes all the time.
Yeah, it's quite frustrating. And so I go out there with the GoPro and I'm trying to control that. Then I'm trying to control, put my handboard on the opposite hands for different waves. It's just there's too much going on. So I mean, Corey, you can just go out like Corey now. You're not really riding handboards so much lately. Every time I see you,
not as much. No, not really. I take it out. I think I've taken it out once or twice to Cape in the last couple of months.
You still take it out in the bigger swells.
Yeah, in the bigger swells. But I have been doing a few days at Cape, freehand and all. I think it's just once you go to no hand plane, going back to a hand plane, it's like everything's so much easier. Like hand plane gives you an added advantage. When you go back to it from not having a hand plane. So I think I've made waves with a hand plane that I wouldn't have made without it, but that's also knowing what to do with my body because I haven't been using the hand plane.
Yeah.
If you understand what I'm saying.
Definitely. So you've got to try and use your swim technique to advantage you as much as you possibly can in the wave riding process. Yeah. What I wanted to ask you is because every time I see you out there without a plane, you're popping spins, you're doing flips, and when you've got a plane on, you don't seem to do that as much. Do you think it hinders you with a plane to be able to do those tricks?
I did my first front flip with a hand plane.
Yeah,
it does. I think it does hinder you a bit, gets in the way a little bit, but I think once you get good at them, you can do it with or without.
It doesn't really matter. Yeah. Okay, so what would you prefer though?
I'd like to do front flips and stuff like that at the moment without a hand plane because I still openly admit I'm not the best at all those tricks things. I still got to get them pretty nailed down. But once I get them nailed down, I reckon I'd be able to do them pretty easily without a hand plane or with a hand plane.
How long do you reckon it takes to be doing those tricks? Because you're in the ocean quite a lot, and there's plenty of people listening now that would be surfing fairly regularly.
Yeah.
And maybe trying to do spins, even spins, for instance, like a reverse spin.
Yeah.
How long does it take to kind of get good at those and start nailing those harder tricks?
Oh, spins for me sort of came just as a sort of progression thing, just seeing other people doing them. Took me a couple of months. But then now the front flips and stuff, that's been like couple of months, maybe I've been at it for like 4 or 5 months. Every time I surf a beachy, I'm like trying to pull front flips, trying to pull belly spins, stuff like that. So that could take me a year. I'm not really sure, to be honest. Like I've sort of been body surfing since I was 5 and I'm still learning things about body surfing. So like I don't really know, to be honest.
Yeah, because I when I go out and surf, like to be honest, I don't really enjoy doing a lot of the tricks. I'll do a spin every now and then. If it's a kind of small beach break or something, but I really like tube time. So I try and aim for more of that kind of wave riding. But I suppose for people listening,
when you're surfing conditions like the Goldie Sliders surf, you can't really get barreled. You can't get barreled that easily when it's a couple of foot. So
well, leading on to that, Tim, we should talk about the state of origin.
Sure. Now, there's been a bit of shade going back and forwards from New South Wales to Queensland, to New South Wales. Corey, you've been at the centre of this, and it's pretty much to do it's not even to do about who's the better body surfer or who's the better body surfing state. It's to do with what sort of waves and conditions we have in each state. There's been a bit of shade. Would you like to declare anything would you like to have a crack or just, back up some of the points that you've made over the last few weeks?
Yeah, so if they said to me, oh, there was a 6 to 8 foot swell come through last week and we charged it, but there was no photographers out, fair. I've had so many of those sessions where it's been pumping and no one caught it on tape. But Travis from Slide actually said to us, I've got this video in 6 to 8 foot pumping swell, and sent it through to us, and you can't post it because it's worth more than you'd ever know. And Dad said it's this 2 foot beachy, not like...
It was bigger than a 2 foot.
It was a good wave.
I give it to him maximum 4 foot. All right, Sydney conditions, and
Sydney conditions.
Sydney conditions. And if he said to me, look at this sick one, like it's about 4 foot, was such a fun wave, I'd be like, yeah, pay it. That looks like a fun as wave. But he's like, this is 6 to 8 foot bombing last swell, and it was so gnarly out there. It took us about 45 minutes to get out the back. Oh, come on, Trav. And I didn't realise that the Woman guys were Queensland. I thought they were on the other side of the border.
Yeah, they're
because Churchill has been giving us a lot of stick on the Facey and the Instagram.
So if we were to do some sort of state of origin competition, which we've talked about openly a lot on the podcast, where would we hold that competition? Because you guys are saying you guys are a big wave specialist, and that's going to suit a New South Welshman.
So you're asking where's Suncorp and where's Homebush?
Sure, yeah, great question.
Well, I guess Homebush is Cape. Would it not be?
Yeah. I reckon
What about RP?
Oh, we can't talk about that. Off air.
Okay, yeah.
I think also Sydney broadcasts this idea of Cronulla and Bondi and Maroubra, which can get a bit of swell, but most of the days it's a bit whitewashy. And that's maybe what we're projecting to Queenslanders. Are some Queenslanders not familiar with the sort of waves you guys surf? The secret spots, maybe?
I don't know. Ulga, I'd like to ask you as our international guest, you're kind of bipartisan in this, because I guess you could surf for New South Wales if we were to have a state of Bodygen. What do you think? Like, do you think that... we just have a different view of what a heavy surfable wave is?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, right. So you think we're like New South Wales is probably on the bigger scale?
Well, I think from what I've heard, from what I've seen, is that there is more just beachy. You know, they've got this amazing beach breaks. They work most year round, and they get this awesome footage. It's barreling, but it's consistently similar. Whether here when things get big, when these guys go out to Cape. It's a different game, and it's hard to compare. They're both enjoyable. They're both amazing waves. You obviously take skill to ride both of those type of waves, but it's just different. I mean, it's hard to compare a beach break to Cape. Really, there's just the element of fear in Cape is just always out there. You can be the most comfortable person in the world, but like when you look at the rocks and where you are and how long it takes you to get in and get out, I don't know. That's my view, I think.
Corey. I think if we were to have this, I guess, battle, would we want to do it over a 2 or a 3 wave series? It's like a competition series. We could, or do we just have one?
I think it has to be like you got to look for consistency. Yeah. And obviously you got to have like a reef wave in there. You got to have a beachy in there, and I think you got to have a point ride as well. That just shows a bit of diversity. I reckon. Like, I'll give it to the Woman guys. They're, like, small waves, and, like, they do have the balls for big waves. I still don't think that's their specialty.
Well, I got a lot of the chat has been going, when we surf big waves, there's no photographers. We don't release any footage of it because we don't want to...
I've seen Travis, like, to his credit, I've seen him go real big wave ended up in the middle of the Shark Island. But I watched him and I was like, oh, God, he's gone. Like he obviously didn't. He was new to the wave, and so it was like a left and right and the middle. and this thing just sort of jerked up, and he was middle, and I was like, oh no.
Oh, I don't get me wrong.
Yeah,
I think
and
they
he
can.
judges,
But
Yeah.
you're forgetting one thing there as well. Shark Island's in Sydney, not Queensland.
Oh,
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
why,
yeah,
that's
yeah,
why
yeah.
it was bigger.
All right. If we were to have a team, who's in it?
Well, there's a few internationals that comes in. Like, where's Ricky Rain from?
Yeah. Well,
I think he's got to be New South Wales. Like he's
well,
based
here's
here.
the thing: do we go where you're born or where you reside?
Mm.
Because that's the problem with the NRL comp. And now for our international listeners, we have what's the equivalent? We play football here. Football is kind of a bit harder than how you guys play it because we play without pads and things. And we have a competition, and it's based on where you grew up. So if you lived in a certain state, you verse the people from the other state. Now, historically, those rules and guidelines on where your eligibility is have changed over the years. But pretty much it's where you were born or where you played your first match of football. So is it where we were born or where we surfed our first wave?
Or we could just make it wherever sort of you really want to be, because then that makes it even more
No,
competitive.
yeah, but I want to try
No?
because we have the
I don't
Victorians
think
as
you-
well.
Yeah,
you know,
and
Oh,
then,
okay, yeah,
and
that's
then
what
all,
you
WA.
all the Queenslanders will want to join us because they know that we're going to win, and
Yeah, that's
it'll
right.
just get messy.
Yeah, it will.
Like
Okay.
Greg Inglis.
Yeah, that's right.
Back in the day, he wanted to
Yeah.
go Queensland because he knew they were going to win.
Well, so like, who would you say? Is Don McCready? He'd be New South
New
Welshman.
South Welshman, yeah.
I'm guessing.
Barrel Pig?
Barrel
New South
Pig.
Welshman?
And would you also, another question to put out there, if you're going to have 3 series where it's like a slab wave, a point ride, and a beachy, do you put 3 different squads forward for those 3
good
different
point.
waves?
That's great.
I think
Yeah,
that,
or do
that's
you
a
put
good- that
one
gives-
squad for all 3 waves?
I think more squad because you get more people involved.
Yeah.
You shouldn't just restrict it to the big wave specialists.
This
'Cause
could be-
you've got a
This could be the new Keel.
Kill Cup.
The Keel Cup.
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 With a
It could
K.
be, mate. It could be. You're doing everything at the moment. Easy Marine.
Yeah.
Easy Marine could sponsor it.
There you go.
The Kill.
Yeah, well, we had this chat. We kind of tried to push it to have some sort of thing at Shark Island at one stage, but it was just too complicated with all the...
It is, yeah. So
It's a lot goes into it, and to organize that Cape and anywhere that's sort of a bit dangerous, the risk assessments go into
Yeah.
it and just becomes hard and more expensive, and it's
I guess if someone wanted to do it, we can give the information away now because we're not going to ever run with it. I'm guessing.
it's going to be difficult if it...
Yeah.
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 not at this stage.
Ulga and I were talking about possibly having a Womp-Off style competition, but with teams. So Team War, Team Keel, Team Defin,
Team DMC,
Team
and so on.
DMC, so on and
Yeah.
so forth, and
Slide as well.
all
Slide.
having a team together, and you compete against each other for victory. I think it would be very interesting. I think people would kind of love that, get into the sport from a viewer standpoint.
Yeah.
Because you have all the best body surfers competing against each other. So if someone's listening and they want to make that happen, please go ahead.
We do need more comps because, like, you look at Cronulla Bodyboarding, what is it, Association or something. They have Grom comps every week in summer. I think it's in summer. And then they have a big winner at the end and, like, adult comps every weekend. And I don't know how they get their permits for that. We should speak to Des from Emerald and work out how they, get clear the surfers out of that
Another
that area
person-
because they have it at, like, Suckrock and stuff.
Yeah, the Cronulla bodyboard clubs are surfing reefs every weekend.
Yeah.
So yeah, how do they get that clear?
Maybe
Yeah.
good person to speak to will be DMC. He used to run
Yeah.
a few competitions in
Wolfo
body
even.
surfing.
Wolfo's
Yeah,
so
yeah.
in on that if he ever comes to BREP like we're paying him for. We're paying the big bucks
Yeah.
too.
Another thing about Queenslanders is when you
Is this a joke?
when you look at the Goldie Sliders, they're pretty much the Brisbane Broncos of the competition. Everyone goes from Queensland and joins the Goldie Sliders.
You're right.
People drive hours to go to their meets, and then they come and compete at competitions like Womp-Off.
Well, that's right. It's like
They've got their team already.
Yeah.
It's the Goldie Sliders. They're the Queensland team. So pretty much we just need to put a team up against them.
Well, yeah, yes and no, but Woman is all those guys.
True,
from
if they
Queensland
want to
as
get
well.
involved as well,
Yeah, so it's kind of both of those clubs. I mean, it's like us and the Bait Bay Body Bashers,
Sure.
Timmy, because we're the little brother. They're St George Dragons. We're the Cronulla Sharks.
Sure.
So, yeah, I see what you said. Like, we could have a club of 200 members as well if we were the only club in New South Wales.
Well, Wolfo's actually just come on and said clubs in the Shire get one comp per month. So does that mean Bait Bay Body Bashers could hold one comp a month, Budgie Boys could hold one comp a month, and so could the Cronulla Reef Kings? There's three comps
If
per
we were,
month.
I think if we were an officially registered club.
Yeah.
Which some are. Some body surf clubs are registered, so yeah, it could work.
And I think it could be fun to just maybe have a monthly competition, even between us, just to
Yeah.
get out there, have fun, and it will attract a bit of crowd publicity.
Before we move on, Owie, I just want to go back a few points. You were saying it's tricky with the new War hand-played handle, the leash, that it's hard to change hands. Two solutions for that. Could you, one, ride tickler, or two, not strap in? Just go out there with the loose fit and then just, hold on when you get dumped.
Yeah. So I guess you can. And I mean, I do ride tickler. If the wave comes too quickly and I'm not ready, I'll just go tickler. What I have been doing is just folding the leash underneath my fingers and just holding onto it that way, because I have a tendency to just lose the plane every time I'm on a wave. Some people hold on to them. I just am a kook at holding on to it. It always comes off. Even when I was using the old leash, the Velcro used to come off and rip the leash off the handboard.
Had that problem, man.
Yeah, it happened at Suck Rock when it was about 8 foot one day, and thankfully it popped up right in front of my head. Otherwise, it would have ended up like your Santa Barbara,
New
never
Zealand.
seen again. And another day it came off at Suck, and I found it at Voodoo, like on the shore. Like I went in, and it had washed up 100 meters down the.
Remember that day we were out at Shark Island, me, Owie, and Uga? Uga had lost his hand plane maybe an hour ago.
Yep.
And I was on my jet ski taking photos for him. Anyway, they'd done their session. This is an hour after Uga's standing on dry Shark Island looking everywhere for his hand plane. Can't find it anywhere. Come on, boys. Hop on the ski. I'll take you back in. I went to take you into Cronulla Point, which is sort of right if you're going in. And Owi's like, no, don't take us there. Take us into the beach on the left.
400
Backwards.
meters on the left.
Yeah. So lucky you said that, because I took you in, and floating just on shore is Uga's Santa Barbara stoked hand plane.
That was a good.
If you seek, you shall find.
Yeah.
That's amazing. All right, let's get to our big news. We forward sold that there was a few big announcements coming your way, and we want to deliver that. I think, Corey, you should go first. You wanted to come on the show tonight to just mention a few things that's going on. The floor's yours, man. Take it away.
Yeah, so over COVID-19, a lot of people have nominated me to hashtag Shave It Corey. Recently, Goldie Sliders did, Ricky. I think it started off with Kook Man, to be honest. So I've decided
What?
I'm going to shave it.
No way.
Yeah.
It's gone.
It's going to be shaved on the 12th of next month.
Right. 12th of July.
Yep. I've started a GoFundMe page, so I will be raising funds for the Brave Hearts Foundation. White Balloon Day is coming up, so it's sort of in the mix with that. That comes up in September. But pretty much I will be also donating one war badfish, one pair of Defin kicks, and one pair of Keel sluggers to 3 lucky people who do donate.
Lovely.
Chosen at random.
nice.
So for those details, and so people can get involved and donate, can they just maybe check you out on Instagram and you'll post up all the details?
It will be on my in my bio. The link will be in my bio tonight.
Now, people cannot maybe not tell if they're listening or they're watching on our bad stream here, but your hair is extremely long,
Yeah,
extremely blonde. Are you going a number one?
I'm going to number
A
1. Yeah.
Breville number one?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Are you excited about this new look?
I'm a bit nervous, but it'll be all right.
And it's for a good cause.
Yeah.
Are you going to try and grow your hair back to a similar length, or are you going to keep it short from now on?
No, I'll probably keep it short in like sort of a comb over on the top and short back and sides.
Yeah, nice.
How's that going to go for your Bumble game?
I don't know. We'll soon find
We
out.
will. Now, Bravehearts is for child protection.
Child protection services. So yeah, my auntie actually works in that sort of area.
Great.
So I've heard a lot of like stories about sort of these things, and they're not the best stories. And White Balloon Day is coming up, so I sort of just wanted to support that.
So if they do White Balloon Day, are you going to get a white badfish?
I will.
They're
hopefully.
super rare. The white badfish are
They do exist?
They do exist.
Oh, wow.
Like a white
Made out-
belugas.
Yeah, I know, right?
Milk bottles and stuff.
Milk bottles.
Oh,
Yeah.
cool.
So I remember seeing them at Wompoff. Ricky had about 5 or 6 of the white ones there, and I was like, "Ooh,
Yeah.
I want my hands on one of those." But they're super rare.
Yeah.
So hopefully, if you get your hands on one of those, that's a good prize.
That's
Yeah.
great.
You're one of a kind. And a lot of people are riding the badfish as their primary handboard
Oh,
at the
people
moment.
love it.
People,
Yeah.
Jesse, Sean, really loves it.
Corey
Rob.
and Nick Brabot, they hit up the badfish. Ricky, obviously, one. But yeah, it's funny, like, because you think of the wood as sort of the premium product, but a lot of people are preferring the badfish for many different reasons. But it's great to see them out. And, they are a pretty reasonably priced hand plane for people starting out. But, the pros are shredding at Cape with them, which is really cool to see.
I think it's the neutral density
Is that
of
it? Yeah.
the plastic. That's what I really like about it.
I think it's also the story behind it as well.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah,
That wins a few people over.
yeah. If you're surfing and you're contributing to taking some of the plastic out of the ocean, that's what more could you want?
That's exactly right.
All right. Now, Uga, you've been pretty quiet this podcast. It's your time to shine now. We've been talking about this for the last few weeks on the podcast, that you've put together a big competition with Keel Down Under, and it was called Wave of the Swell. Now, we're down to our final 6 waves. So a few weeks ago, there was some big swell coming through, and you encouraged people to post their photos from this session. And the winner takes all. The winner was going to win a pair of Keel Sluggos, and also their photographer was also going to win a pair of Keel Sluggos, which is great because often the photographer goes unnoticed. So it's great that you're getting on board and supporting those guys who are the ones doing really the hard work. Getting the perfect shot is very difficult to do. So I'm glad that they're going to be rewarded with this great prize. Now, we're going to show some of the photos in a second for those watching the live stream. For those who are listening to the audio podcast, jump on Keel Down Under on Instagram. All the photos are up there, and you'll know exactly what we're talking about. So let's get this little slideshow going. And Owie, Corey, and Uga, who are all judges of this competition, are going to talk you through their thoughts and how they came up with these final 6. And who knows, we might even be able to announce the winner tonight.
Yeah, I think that's the plan.
All right, so here's...
This is getting very technical
All
for
right,
you guys.
who have we got there, Uga?
So that's, I think, Kieran Evans, and that's Abby Freeman Photography.
Ooh, nice one.
That's,
Robbie?
yep, and DCM Photography. David Malloy. And then Jesse Johnson. That was a wild card with Bondi Hunter.
So
I don't often see him body surfing as well.
But when he does, he does a good job. And then that's a classic Condor with Born with Gills.
how good is that?
That is.
He's a big boy too.
And that's a huge slab of wave. And then...
This one, how good is that?
That is very good. But it's a classic.
Who is it?
It's
Ricky.
Ricky.
Ooh,
I think
that's
everyone-
Ricky.
Ricky, and I love Cornell photo. And then I love this one. This is, again, Ricky and Robin Koeman photo.
So Ricky's in there twice.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
And Robbie has been going hard at this comp. He's posted about 10 or 11 photos. I think he's out there every day taking photos of the guys body surfing, which has been really awesome to see. So, yeah, really, as you mentioned, without the photographers, we don't get to have this competition, really. And they do bring all the excitement aspect to when you're at the beach. And, like, I've never been there when DCM is there, but I can imagine there's different hype when you get a really good photographer looking at us body surfers. We don't really get that many opportunities. Usually you see the guys looking at the surface, but then when someone's there for us, everyone kind of gets excited and you get some awesome photos.
And this live stream is a lot better without mine or Corey's head. Can we keep this? I like this picture-in-picture, Tim.
It's very technical. So you guys are the judges. We've also... Some other judges aren't here, have had their say. should we go through this? So this is from Dylan Kelly, who was a judge.
Yep. So I think
El Mundo
Sanchez. If everyone knows, so we had Peter Sperling as a judge, and we had El Mundo Sanchez, Dylan Kelly, and then 3 of us. So the way competition was formatted throughout the whole thing is that we had 16 photos, and every photo was up for vote. If you win the popular vote, you get 2 points. Judges vote gives you 1 point. Sorry.
Can I ask? There's a bit of tension in the room at the moment between you and Timmy.
Oh, really?
Apparently you left Tim out.
Oh, yeah. I saw that, Uga, pitched me this competition. I said, great idea. I'm all for it. I'm happy to support you in any way. And he put, judges Tim and Owie. And then when he posted it, he cut Tim off and just put Owie. And eventually I think you put Budgie Boys or something. But I didn't get to have a say in this competition. I've picked my favourite. And I think it's going to do quite well.
Does it get bonus points?
Yeah, it does. It does. Yeah,
all right.
It has to.
But yeah, all right. Owie, would you like to talk us through maybe your favourite out of the 6?
Yeah. Okay. Now I was really torn between what I was going to go with, Tim. I think I picked all 6 at different points this week. Now, just let me go. What have we got up there? I won't go through what's on the screen, what you guys are seeing, because it might just be too hard for me to go through them. Now, where are we here? All right, here we go. Timmy, you posted the photos the other day. So, all right, I'm going to go first. What do you got here? The condor. The condor is just a big human, and that wave
has to be big.
It's over 12 feet, surely, because he stands at 6'2", 6'3".
Yep.
Probably even more. If you've seen him, he's a big, gangly human being, and so that wave, although isn't it's not a hollow barrel or anything, it looks like it is gonna pitch and he's gonna be in the critical section, but it's just large.
There's a lot of water.
There's a lot of water behind it. And now, obviously, Ricky's got a lot of style. He's always out at Cape. You've got the circus behind him, I think Spurlo said.
Yep.
Which is the jet skis and the surfboards and the toe-ins and the photos. But Ricky's always on one of those waves. You're always going to see him out there. So, although that photo is very, very good.
Spectacular.
Although, you know what, the quality isn't that great as well. It was kind of a bit pixelated.
It's an iPhone photo.
Because
I love Kernell does take a lot of iPhone photos.
And he's pretty good. It's an awesome shot if it's shot on
It is
an
a
iPhone.
great shot, yeah.
But I haven't gone with that one. Ricky's other shot, really good, Shorey there.
I love that photo.
Yeah, all the photos are great. And even Jess, for me, I really rated that. I was really surprised that he wasn't on a surfboard, because every time I see him out at Maroubra, he is surfing.
Great photo as well, Bondi Hunter.
Yeah, and it's just a thick slab. That one.
It is good. And he's holding the line so well. It's very high up in the wave.
So I think I voted that one, but I came around right at the end, and I have to go with the condor. That's just a large wave. It's the biggest wave there, and that I'm gonna rest on the condor. He's got my vote.
And I think photo was born with gills, correct?
Yeah, correct.
Yep.
Corey, talk us through your finalists.
Yeah, so all of them are great photos. You've obviously got DMC photos, Robbie riding it. Great picture. It's that split second where the lip is sort of coming over the body surfer, but you can still see the body surfer.
Yeah, and Woofo's mentioned, Woofo's voted for Rob's because he's the only one getting barreled. That's what Woofo's sent through. So.
I'd say Jesse's getting pretty barreled.
Yes. Is that
That's
second one?
Card,
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. You can see it peeling over as well, he's going to just sneak through as well.
Yeah. I originally did vote for Kieran just because, the style is, sort of my style, all spread out. It looks very windy, very challenging conditions.
Where is that?
Uga? I know it's down south somewhere.
Okay, down south. Cool.
If it's south of Helensburgh, you can't say.
So it was another strike mission, and we went to pretty much all the spots that we went together, and we just couldn't find a spot that was sort of. It was just lots of wind, as you can see, and even Ivan out there, Kieran doesn't body surf as much as me. He just got out there. I think it was first wave. He just went for it. He just opened up perfectly. Crazy conditions on the beach as well. Sand was actually blowing in the photographers like whatever, and still got an amazing photo. So I really like that one.
And then you've obviously got Ricky there. Same old for Ricky. Like always charging
It's a great
something.
photo.
Yeah,
It is.
but that, like, I give him props for getting that wave. Ricky always, the medium days at Cape, he always shines for some reason. Once it sort of gets a little bit bigger, he doesn't shine as much. It's more Spurlow then. But on these medium days, he always finds the diamond in the rough, because this day was, even though you got jet skis in the back and all as well, I was there and there wasn't many waves coming through, and there was about 30 surfers on it. The Kodor, big wave, lots of water. Good photo. Right zoomed in on it, which is kind of cool. It shows Condor's a big guy, so I like how this one's zoomed in because it shows Kodor compared to the wave.
Yeah.
Ricky again, obviously Coogee, Robbie Kuhlman photos, great photo, Robbie. Good closeout. But yeah, again, my vote has to be the Kodor. It's huge wave. He's gone the double-handed Superman style into glorious beachy pit, 8 foot Sydney, not Queenslander wave.
No, it's not. Well, it's probably on the Central Coast. I don't think the Condor ventures too far south or north. He just sticks around his places. And what I will say, after body surfing with him quite a lot, will throw himself into anything. And for a big dude, that's scary. I mean, there's a lot of weight coming down on a reef, and that reef ain't going anywhere. But I've seen him just like go stupidly big waves in very shallow conditions. Uga?
Well, I think I'm going to agree with Corey about most of what he said. Obviously, a bit biased, but Abby's photo of Kieran down the coast was a spectacular one.
And you know what? If you were running another competition that wasn't probably the wave of the swell, because for me, like I go, the wave of the swell, you kind of want a bit of size in it, a bit of growl. That, like, the first photo is an amazing shot.
Mm-hmm.
It's I'd love to have that shot on my Instagram or any page.
Me too, but it just doesn't have that scary aspect to it, I guess. And then I agree. And then another one, Bondi Hunter. I mean, what a shot. I can't stop looking at that photo. And Jesse's technique there is so high up on the wave. Absolutely love it. Then I actually was filming on the day when Ricky got this photo. I was shooting Corey and Ricky. And Ricky does amazing on these like sort of medium Cape days. There was about, as Corey said, 30 surfers, sorry. And this wave just kind of started as a little 2 foot nothing and just kind of grew. And I was just watching, and I'm not going to even turn the camera on for this. And then I turned and actually filmed this last section of the wave. Amazing, really amazing. But again, this is his specialty. You know, he does it all the time. It's almost like no surprise, which is really our greatest compliment, I guess. So I think at the end, Condor, that photo, and as he said, he's such a huge man. And then just what is it, Central Coast when they body surf, correct?
Yeah. Central Coast, yep.
And to get a photo, you don't get photographers out there very often. We don't have many photos coming from those areas. And Born with Gills is out there taking this awesome photo. I think that's the winner.
I think that probably would have been Shelley.
Or North Any.
Could have been North Any, yeah. Shelley or North Any.
Which, if you're on the Central Coast, guys, anyone listening, every Saturday or Sunday, I think it is, go check out the Central Coast Body Surfers on Instagram. They do meet up North Any, and it is a great... Me and Owie have attended a couple of times. It's a great story.
Yeah, North Any is a really good body surfing beach. Yeah. If you're around the Central Coast region, North Any is a great place to start body surfing if you haven't been into it. Just be careful because it can get quite heavy there, and even on a small swell.
And the men in the grey suits.
Yeah, it's pretty sharky and very sweepy there as well because the naturally being an entrance of a river, the water hoots out of that thing.
Should I go through Spurlow's comments?
Yes, please, Corey.
So Spurlow said, "I will vote number 2, which is Ricky's wave at Cape. I just really like the framing for the photo, rocks in the foreground to highlight the danger, and jet skis in the background add a bit of theatre. Or perhaps just shows what a circus this wave has become. Only thing that I would have that would have made the photo better would have been me if it was me on the wave. And also he would like to add, it'd also make it better if it was him on a hand surfer.
Oh, yeah, his brand, the hand surfer.
Yeah.
I heard the hand surfer's pretty good.
Yeah, the old and trusty's got the middle skeg. You know, they've been around. My pop had one in his garage.
No.
When I started getting into body surfing and buying my my own hand planes, he went up into his roof. Pop's lived in the same house since day dot, and this old had bloody spider webs on it.
What's
and
it made out of?
It's plastic. It's got a middle skeg. The old ones had a leather strap. This one had a leather strap. But now they're made out of plastic. They're very thin, got a thin skeg down the middle, and then just got like a Velcro strap.
Does he use them himself?
He used it once out at Cape. We could maybe share the photo that he posted while using it at Cape. I probably wouldn't want to share the comments he made with that photo. They were a bit controversial, but he uses it every now and again. He's actually, the branding for the hand surfer, he's got a photo of himself body surfing Shark Island with no hand surfer.
Oh, you know what I want to get my hands on? The wave blades. You guys seen the wave blades?
Yeah.
It's very interesting. It's two hand surfers, but your hands are enclosed into almost like gloves, but you're then they've got like a plastic bottom.
Are they from California?
I don't know where they're from.
So I'm pretty sure these are the ones that, if you live close to them, I'm not sure if they still do it anymore. Back in the day, they did. You can go into them and get your hand molded and actually get the hand planes made for your hand.
Wow. No way.
Yeah.
It could be a bit dangerous, when the wave throws you, sort of everything goes with it, right?
Well, that's right. Yeah, imagine trying to swim with those things on. Anyway, getting back to the competition.
Well, yes, this is from Dylan Kelly. Now, he's written the second photo, but I believe he's voting for Big Con Dog as well.
Yes.
So he goes for the Big Con Dog. Hands down, the clearly talented body surfer is pinning it down, a monster ramp, great takeoff, and about to set his line for the upcoming section. Love that two-hand technique. Great style. The photo leaves us thinking, what will happen next? What a wave.
That's a good write-up.
That's a great write-up. And who was the other judge?
That's it.
That's it.
That's all of you. So, can we announce the winner?
Yep. So just quickly, points-wise, Robin Koeman won 2 points on popular vote.
Yep.
We got one for Ricky.
Yep.
And we got the rest for Kondo.
Oh, there we go. Well, do you have a?
Yeah, fantastic.
Is that the only sting you have loaded in that thing? We have 8 buttons.
I got one more thing.
Woozle wazzle. Well, there we go. Gondor.
Well done. Congratulations. What does he win?
So he gets a pair of keels of his choice and Born with Gills. It's the same. So just
And
get
the
in touch with
photographer
him.
gets some as well. That's amazing. Good stuff. All right. Well, I think that pretty much wraps it up. We got to get out of here because there's a big rugby league match about to start. The Roosters are taking on the Bulldogs tonight, so get ready for that. That's why we're coming to you early, because we didn't want to compete with the football. And Corey's a big Chooks fan, so we're going to go.
Everyone put some money on Chooks. It's a sure win.
No, actually, I've got the premonition. One of my clients said today, and she gets these kind of things. She's a big Chooks fan. She started the Chook Pen.
Yeah.
And she said that the Chooks will win, but it'll be close. So if you're on Chooks 1 to 4 or 5 to 8, or even 1 to 12, you want to go Chooks 1 to 12, you're getting about $3 for that. So that's the inside word.
Could you have told me this before the podcast instead of telling them first and bringing the odds in?
Oh, that's right. No, it'll be okay. It'll be
now
okay.
I'm going to get on it.
So
and the odds are gonna be $1.
anyone listening today, right now, go and put your savings on maybe the Chooks.
Your savings.
Your savings.
Put the house on it.
1 to 5.
1 to 5.
I also want to just shout out, just before we go, I think this weekend is going to be the first meetup of the Maroubra
Oh, the Bra Boys.
Body Surfers team. You believe it or not, yeah.
Who's that?
Yeah, there's a Maroubra team joining the circus that is Body Surfing New South Wales. If you want to hook up with them, talk to Robs. Who else is doing it? Sean. a couple of the other Maroubra locals are going to be down
It's
there.
going to be separate from Sydney, East
Syd-
Sydney.
I think because what they said was they have trouble going to Temerema on a Saturday or a Sunday and not being able to find a car park.
Yeah.
That's a fair point.
So
Yeah.
they're starting their own little crew, which
What
I
a
think
great
is cool.
reason. Yeah, why not?
And there's so many body surfers at Maroubra. So good luck to
Yeah.
them if they're starting this weekend and you're keen to go down. Just chat to them and have a good one.
Awesome. All right. Well, we got to get out of here. Do it all again real soon. But for now,
It's always
It's
overhead when you're body surfing.
bye.
Say it in Serbian. Say it in Serbian.
Yeah.
I don't even know. We're on body surf in Serbia.
No, say it in Serbian.
Just have a guess.
Okay. It's always overhead when you're body surfing.
That's English.
That's
Wait,
English.
I'm just thinking. I don't know. I have no idea. Go on.
Duše Duratoca. There you go.
I actually didn't want some Serbian to call me and be like, "What the fuck did you just say?"
Are we still live?